Off the ball.
And they're off.
Brought to you by Go Racing. Plan your day at the races at goracing.ie.
All right, you're very welcome along to this week's Friday Night Racing. We're streaming live this Friday afternoon on Facebook, YouTube, and of course on Periscope. The best place ever to get us always is offtheball.com. And of course, you can always listen to us as a radio show now on the Go Loud app, or you can get us on News Talk this evening at 8 o'clock. I'm delighted to say we've got Matthew Smith and Ollie Ryan with us. One Cool Poet is your connection, and One Cool Poet is one of the biggest stories, I think, of the entire Galway Festival.
Definitely, it was. I've never thought of a horse to debunk so many myths about training and about the resolution of horses, because everyone that seemed to know anything about horses said this horse is a dog, he won't go through with his effort, he's a bridle merchant. Then he won 3 times in a week in Galway, and you don't do that without being genuine, you know.
First ever flat horse to win 3 times in a
yeah. I remember, I think Tony Martin had a mare,
Bust the
Tycoon, who won a hurdle race as well on the Sunday. And also, like, he was actually available at very good prices, despite the fact he won over a mile and clearly stayed a lot further. So particularly his third race, when they were spacing on runners, he looked, in hindsight, a great bet. And I think was, how do you tell the dancer from the dance? Billy Lee, being the artist that he is, just probably clicked with this horse, and he probably had the week of your lives, really.
Oh yeah, definitely, yeah.
Did you know you'd be on Off the Ball the following Friday?
Saying that,
Talking about
yeah.
One Cool Poet.
We didn't think that even this day last week. Like.
No, we were just happy to get to Galway, and I just said to Matthew going to Galway, look, just hope he runs well, and just hope, you know, finally he might just get his head in front. We didn't expect
3 times.
3. Yeah. All you ever dream about as an owner is just a winner at Galway. And
we had Aidan McGuinness in a couple of weeks back, and we were doing bits and pieces with him around Aussie Valentine. We made a little movie, and we were talking about Galway. It's kind of off. It's like, Galway is mad. You go and you have the intention of going home, but you win a race and you don't make it home. What the hell happens when you win 3 races in a week?
Well, it's a kind of, you know, I remember we were going down on Tuesday, and one of my partners in the horse, John Flanagan, said to me going down, he said, you know, it's all about winning. But he said, look, I just hope the horse runs well. And we never thought beyond Tuesday. We actually had no real plan, I think. Like, we had him entered on Thursday, but we had hoped to get in on Saturday. And we weren't sure whether we'd get in on Saturday, so we said we'd run on Thursday. That's how it kind of panned out, really.
What was the thinking with going in a mile? Because I think he's second over 2 miles before, wasn't he? He's form over 2 miles anyway.
He did run over 2 mile, yeah. But look, he was entered in the hurdle race on the Monday. Then, look, I gave him anything he kind of would have had a chance of getting in, I entered him in. Even Paul said at the beginning of the week, he said, geez, you have some amount of entries there, like, and so look, it's better off have them than not have them. And so obviously he was entered in the hurdle on the Monday, the flat race on the Tuesday, the Thursday and the Saturday, and he's entered in another hurdle on the Sunday.
Right. So you're saying he should have won more than 3 times?
No, it's just the way it all fell together.
So why did he not go on the Monday? Because you want him to go on the flat, is that?
Well, no, we had intended running him, if he got in on the Monday in the hurdle, that was the first choice.
Then he wouldn't have run the Tuesday?
He wouldn't have ran on Tuesday, right?
Oh, there you are.
So there you are. Like, to be honest, it was actually Paul Devery, another one of the owners, who suggested he seen the mile, and he said, how about giving him an entry in that? So I said, definitely, like, I'd definitely try it, you know, unless I said if there's no pressure, which there wasn't, why not try it, like. So obviously he ran on the Tuesday. It didn't, he was 17 on the ballot for the Saturday, so like when he came out with Tuesday, well, we said we better declare for the Thursday rather than miss out on that and not get in on the Saturday.
Even with a penalty?
Yeah. You know, sure, why not, like, you know. So then he obviously got in the Thursday and won. Didn't think he'd get in the Saturday, and I think 18 on the ballot got in, so he just scraped in on the Saturday, like. So it was just fell together right, like.
We'll go through the races individually in a couple of minutes, but I want to come back, like, months from this. When did you get involved with One Cool Poet? What's your connection to the horse?
I'm involved with him. I had a horse a few years ago called One Cool Tornado. He's by Golden Tornado. He's bred in Gertine Stud in Tullamore, the Brazil family, the great breeding family in Tullamore. And I was involved in him. He won 5 races for us at the time. And Donald was in, I have a veterinary business in Tullamore, so I supply a lot of feed to a lot of breeders around. So Donald Brazel, the proprietor, was in with me one day and he says, he said, I have a new stallion now, Urban Port.
Right.
He said, I have a few foals, they're lovely looking, you know. He said, they're only a couple of days old, maybe you might have a look at them.
Oh, yeah.
So out of interest, I just
Get
decided...
him in there.
They weren't going to be minging looking anyway.
What?
They weren't going to be horrible looking anyway.
No. So I went out...
baby doesn't look great like
Yeah, exactly. But I went out and I looked at... That was his... I'm very sure that's his first foal by the sire Urban Port.
Right.
One Cool Port was. And the next one was Golden Port. But we bought the two of them. And there was two different sets of owner for the two horses. And Golden Port won in Kilbeggan last year. He was with Dennis Hogan. He was a nice horse. We sold him there a few weeks ago. And the one I really fell in love with was this guy, One Cool Port. He's a gorgeous looking foal.
So you've had him since he was a foal?
Yeah.
Right.
You saw him when he was a few days old.
Yeah.
That's a great story, yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, you brought me down to see them, didn't you?
Yeah.
Before they went in.
I just thought he was putting a gorgeous stamp in his stock. And I just really liked him. So
How much do you value that a stallion will stamp his stock and just kind of, because it's...
Well, he's had about, I think there's about 20 of them on the ground, and they're all really good looking, and they're lovely looking. Randall Jerpot is another one, I think. I don't know what
is that, isn't it?
Yeah, he's a nice horse too, but Dennis Hogan has another one. They're very versatile. Like you have every distance.
They can win 3 times a week and go.
But their jumping is like, if you've seen him jumping in Tipperary, like his jumping is just brilliant. Like, it's hard to believe we went for beginner's chase with this guy.
Oh, we actually sent him beginner's chase in Galway as well.
And we ended him in the Latin Quarter chase on the Tuesday, and we came back and won him over a mile on the Tuesday.
Yeah.
Like,
he's not bred for that.
Well,
Like-
he won.
Well, like his stallion was a 2 mile, 2 mile horse. Like.
But
Who had the stallion?
Oh, have me there now. Can't think.
which stallion? The
Urban Port.
Mark Johnson.
Mark
Had him at-
Johnson.
yeah, he won over 2 mile from Mark
Yeah, he
Johnson.
did. Yeah.
But it started from there. He was just a foal. We brought him along. He started out with Arthur Moore, and Arthur won with him in Limerick. Arthur's a very good trainer as well. But
This is One Cool Port?
yeah,
Okay.
and he got a very bad injury, a shattered tendon.
What age is this now?
Oh, 3-year-old.
He ran as a juvenile hurler, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we brought him home. And to be fair to the Brazils, they put in an incredible amount of work into getting him back.
So shattered
on the track.
tendon, to explain to somebody who doesn't know what that is.
Well, any tendon injury with a horse is serious, you know. And basically,
Yeah, he basically did a tendon down the back of their front leg now.
Yeah.
It basically it tore,
Right.
and like if it's not real bad, they can treat it. They can do different treatments on it. But his was bad, very bad. Like they couldn't treat it. Like they couldn't.
And it's not like with a human, you can have surgery, put the leg up for a while, say rest there, the horse is just
No,
gonna...
see the problem with the horse's legs as well. There's so little blood flow to the legs for it to heal, you know. And they were actually said he probably wouldn't race again. Like
I'd say most tendon injuries, you're just statistically just well off. That's it. We're done, because it's just too much work to try and get a horse back.
yeah, look, it is hard. Some of them come back, but then some of them don't. But
He was still young, if nothing else.
yeah, he was with me at the time.
he was with you, yeah.
So he wasn't far off a run, and he broke down. And sure, look, we were all devastated, like, because he was showing a lot, like, real nice horse. And
How long ago was that then? Is that 2.5 years?
he was 4.
Right.
So yeah, 3 years ago.
3 years, yeah.
3 years ago.
So when that's happening, you're not tempted
long
to
road.
sell? Are you
Oh.
like, who's going to buy it?
Yeah, you
So,
wouldn't, yeah.
It's been a long road, and you're kind of tempted to give up then as well, you know, to say, sure, look, you're nearly praying. I was praying often that Donald Razzle will ring me and say, Ollie, he's finished. He'll never run again.
Yeah.
Because then you know it's definitive, it's finished, and that's
Closure.
it.
Sure, at the time.
Yeah. You're looking for someone to give you a bit of closure.
We were involved in a horse one time. He did his tendon on his first run, and he was ready to run again a year later, did the tendon again.
No way.
And that was the syndicate story. That was it. And I had a good few mates involved in that, their first horse, and that was their only horse ownership. So it's a cruel game at times.
It is, yeah.
Oh, yeah. And like every day he was out on the track, I was kind of saying, coming home, don't be expecting much, because this lad could be his last day. This
Yeah.
could all
But
go
it's
wrong.
against that backdrop thing that you've people questioning the resolution of a horse. Like, I just think a lot of the time it's just absolute crap. Like, absolute crap. Like, they don't know anything about what's going on physically with the horse.
Well, let's get to, like, so obviously there was something there that led people to that. How many horses do you have before I go on?
2.
Right.
I've
So
won now. It's just
Right,
I
so-
had golden poet. And
so this is obviously a very emotional thing. You buy this horse as a foal. It's not like you've
Yeah.
hundreds of horses. You know,
No.
this is okay, right?
And
So you're very emotionally invested in this.
yeah, you are, and you kind of get carried with them. And when they come home, when they come out with training, they're back with you.
Yeah.
Which, as you know, in England it's there, and a lot of other places, when horses come out, they never see them. They've no emotional attached to them.
Like your child sent back from boarding school nearly.
Exactly, and you know, the last time he came out there, he came to a guy, a very good lad, Martin Kilduff. He does he's very good. He really does a great job on them when they come home, and he spent a lot of time also getting them right as well. You know, you know, and when on his first run back this year, I think he was third in Leopardstown, and he was bet on the line then in Limerick after, wasn't
He
he?
ran the beginner chase in Punchtown, I think, wasn't his first
Oh
run
yeah,
back?
that was his first run. He was fourth.
He ran well.
But he's shown great form from the start of the year when he came back. Like the
Is this
break
the first
he did
year
this
back
year.
properly?
No, he raced last season as well.
Right.
He ran throughout the summer last year.
And how do you run?
He placed several
Frustrating.
times, second, thirds.
Right. So good.
Running well,
Yeah.
collecting money, do you know.
Did
And
you feel like he was fit last year, like fully fit, or did you think that there would be improvement for this year?
no, look, he was fully fit last year. Look, he was running well
Just
nearly every
unlucky.
time, and he wasn't lucky a few times. And
We're in Cartmel with him as well. and
yeah,
Look, he hit the front too soon.
Hit
He's kind
the
of a
front
horse
too
when he
soon,
hits. As soon as he hit the front, he just
Job done.
Job done.
Yeah,
Lads. Good luck.
yeah.
I'm going home.
but like he was collecting money most times he ran, like finishing second, third, and like there's not many horses that'll do that either. Like,
If you're an owner, like there's nothing wrong with coming second or third, because like at least that bill is paid.
you're
It's
picking
like,
up a couple of grand there
like
for second,
it's
third.
hard
like.
paying bills. Like sometimes the bill will come to over $2,000 for that month between travelling, the vest, like this and that, and you need your $2,000 for coming second or whatever
Yeah,
it is. Like and
definitely.
people have this punting mindset. There's a lot more to than that though.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah.
And the HRI as well. Like
Yeah. When you get a call from an 045 number, just
Yeah.
don't answer it. Basically, like that's.
yeah, that's true.
Why did people question the horse when you were talking about the resolution? Yeah.
Because when he hit the front, he just didn't seem to do that. He didn't go on and finish out his race. Like, and a few times you'd say, I think after Tipperary, we came home. Shane Lowry was heading up the 18th in the golf, and we were heading down. And we're saying, you know, as Offaly men, wouldn't it be great to do the double, the horse and Shane Lowry. Now talk about comparisons.
Lowry dedicated
British
to win
Open
the one
and
cool
one
ball.
cool ball. But in Clara, the famous pub Baggots, where all the action was, they stopped the golf and they watched the race.
Right.
So it was a big disappointment for them as well. But
Ollie was
just
very dejected.
Oh, I came out with there and said, we're never going to win with him.
Where did he finish that day?
He finished second.
Chin on the line.
Yeah, finished second again. And before that, he ran in Limerick. Colin Keane rode him. And sure, he came there looking like he was going to win. Finished second.
Yeah, I
Just kind
remember
of
that race.
50 yards from the line.
Yeah.
Just threw his head up a little bit, and Joseph O'Brien's horse just caught him. Yeah, and I was saying to myself then, geez, will he ever get his head in front? But
Yeah. But did you think the hill had suited him in Galway? Like,
he's ran well there before. He was
Yeah.
second or third at the festival for Artemore a couple of years ago in the 1 week. And I ran him there in one of the later meetings there last year, and he was second, I think, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Second as well. So like he has ran well there, like, you know. he
So is
good
this
form
week
there.
the first time he's won a race?
No, he won as a 3-year-old for
Okay,
Artemore in Limerick.
right.
He won once.
Yeah.
Right.
So he's won 3 times in a week.
And in the
then once
meantime, he's
before.
done his tendon, and then you
Placed 10 times in the last year.
right. So you get to go away. What's your level of confidence like when you don't get into the chase on the Monday?
He didn't get into the hurdle on
Hurdle
Monday,
on
and then
Monday.
we had to choose between the beginner's chase and the flat race on the Tuesday. We went for the flat race. I was confident he'd be thereabouts.
he's drawn high as well, wasn't he?
Drawn 18, wasn't he?
Yeah.
Was he drawn 80 wide the first night, was it?
Yeah, so you can't even remember now there's that many.
I know
wins
he's
ago.
drawn wide on the Thursday anyway. But
What was it's just Billy Lee as well? You're thinking, well, he might kid him into a race.
yeah, no, look, I was delighted to get Billy Lee. Billy's a great jockey, and especially with a horse that you want him to produce late, like, you know. No, I was confident he'd been thereabouts, like, you know, because he's rarely out of the first 3, like, you know. Knew he had good form in Galway, knew he was in great form going there. The only worry was the trip. Just wasn't sure if it'd suit him or not. If it was a mile 2, I probably would have been more confident. But that was my only worry on the Tuesday.
So that race that you get him into on Tuesday is the flat race.
Yeah.
And how did you pick that in the end? What was the decision?
Better chance than that than the beginners.
Yeah,
Alan
just
Keane sowed that seed in her head in Limerick. He
How do
just
you
had
decide
this had
who's
loads
better
of boot.
chance?
Yeah.
Just the beginner's chase looked hot enough now. Actual winner of it, what was
0-10.
0-10. He won it, didn't he? Yeah, so like that's very serious horse. Like,
Galway hurdle favourite, like.
yeah, you know, so that kind of put us off that, like.
When he was coming up the hill, then were you like, you're thinking, oh God, it's going to happen again, isn't it? Like, you know, he's going to come second.
They were coming to the line, and
You were on the phone to Shane Lowry.
No, I never moved because I've been in this position so many times that and even when he went by the line, I had to look at the screen, winner one cool pot, because I just said he didn't win until I see it up there, because so many times we've been in that position.
Yeah.
And he did it like the character that is portrayed as a monkey kind of left you straight away, because he was very genuine. He was very genuine. And whether Billy made him more confident or what it was, but he just did enough to win.
Yeah, the one thing about it though, like I was looking at him early on in the race, I didn't know, I was expecting him to see him in a bit on top of his head, but he was comfortable throughout. Like. But I knew I was standing down at the winning post, but I knew when Billy just hit the front how strong he was, and I'm like, he'd get him there. Like.
What's that like, those few minutes?
It's unbelievable. As an owner, I don't know what it's like for Matthew.
It's brilliant.
But for the four lads, Shea Gillen, myself, John Flanagan, Paul Levery, it was just unbelievable.
Have the four of you owned him since he was a foal?
No,
right.
No, just myself and Paul Levery, the two of us, and the other two lads came in last year.
Right, okay.
But it's just an unbelievable feeling. Like, it was raining on Saturday when we got the treble up, and it was lashing. And I actually didn't realise how wet I was until I looked back in it after, because the adrenaline kicked in and the buzz of winning the tree, and you knew you were after making a bit of history, and it's just unbelievable. Like, you couldn't describe it, you know. It was amazing feeling now. And all the people around you, you know, and everyone involved in the horse, and everyone had a part to play in him somewhere along the way, you know.
Did you stay down for the week then? Or?
Yeah.
That's a bigger achievement than winning 3 times in the
Fair
week.
achievement, yeah.
That is not easy.
No.
Yeah.
No, I was up and down every day, but yeah, it's a long week staying there now.
Yeah, it's a very long week.
You done it, Jared? You done the week in Galway?
No, not a chance. 2 nights max. I mean, how do you feel now as a human being?
Oh, grand, yeah.
You've recovered.
Well, when you don't drink, it's a help. So,
Okay, I'm sure.
You're a non-drinker.
Yeah, no.
Then Ollie, that would explain why you got through Galway.
Yeah, well, I've done it before.
Yeah.
I've done it both ways. So I can do fencing or hurdling, whatever you want.
So, the first race is on the Tuesday that you won. The next one you're in on the Thursday again. It's obvious that you're going to go again on Thursday because you've won and he's healthy and well.
Well, what made our mind up to run Thursday was it didn't look that he would get in on Saturday. So
you always had the intention of multiple runs this week anyway.
With the intention of definitely running him twice, one way or the other.
Yeah.
Do you know?
Just because he's well and he's fit and you've been laying him
Yeah,
out.
like we know the horse, we know he's well capable of running twice in a week. He's ran a day apart last year and I think he was second both days. So we knew he'd be well up to it. Like,
right.
So that's why we had the number of entries, and obviously then we had selection, like what we wanted to do. Like.
And so on Thursday, was there a choice of what race you could get into, or is it just?
No, we just had the one entry on Thursday. But as I said, if it looked like he was going to get in on the Saturday,
you would have pulled him on.
We mightn't have ran him on the Thursday. Yeah, because I know. You know, you were like, oh, you'll not run him again on Thursday, will you? And
no, I was keen.
Yeah,
you know, we got our win and to be happy with it, and don't be greedy, and all those things crept into your mind.
But as I said, he was 16 on the ballot for Saturday, so there was no guarantees he was going to get in Saturday. And I said we'd be sick if we didn't run Thursday and then didn't get in Saturday. So that's the reason we went Thursday. Like.
And how did Thursday's race pan out? What was the story there? What was that like?
He won. It was obviously he was going up 4 furlongs, and he actually won by a length and a half. It was actually very impressive, I thought. Now when I went home and watched it, seen where he was in on the rail, don't know how he got out and come up the hill. But it was impressive, all right.
It's kind of when the stars align as well, because so much can go wrong in Galway. Like it must be one of the toughest races, courses to ride for a flat jockey, because everything's happened so fast, especially like the 7 furlong mile races in a big field. If you're drawn high, you can be gone straight away. And then if you're a prisoner for luck coming up the rail and you're also going uphill, there's so much happening. Like,
oh yeah, like, you know, Galway there, like if you're behind in Galway, you nearly say you have no chance. You know, it's a real, you want to be handy, and for him to come from where he did come was unreal.
It suits a hold-up horse too.
Yeah,
and he's a
horse
hold-up
wanted a
horse.
bit of cover as well.
Yeah,
because
but
he
you-
couldn't
yeah.
sleep.
But you need look and running then
Yeah,
after.
but you need look and running, and you need a horse that'll get you where you want, like, you know, because you're turning and you're going uphill, like, it's not ideal for a hold-up horse either, like.
So this one's kind of comfortable. You get to celebrate a little bit earlier, a little bit straight away, kind of almost. The mayhem kicks in as soon as he crosses the finish line this time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Thursday was probably the most enjoyable because you were relaxed. I didn't actually mind, and none of us really minded. It was kind of a bonus territory.
Pressure was off, yeah.
And, you know, everyone's kind of chilled out. And he came into the parade ring, I was looking at him thinking, this guy looks very well today. He looks really sharp and alert and everything. And, you know, when he coming for home, I remember watching it on the corner of the screen thinking, he's a long way back here. He's a long way back.
But
And
it
the
is
next
Billy
thing,
Lee.
in a stride, he's on the outside, just coming up. And it was just incredible.
That's a great feeling in Galway, just even as a punter, when you see them coming around the outside, and all of a sudden they've gone from nearly like 3 lengths back to almost disputing, and you're like, here we go.
Yeah, it was incredible, like, to see that. And then on Saturday, like, it was very nervous on Saturday.
Were you?
Oh yeah, very nervous.
How many non-runners were there? Because I remember previewing the race, something. There must have been, there was a spade all of a sudden.
Yeah, there was a good few non-runners. It lashed on the Saturday as well. Yeah, I was nervous myself on Saturday now, like,
Because of history, like,
Yeah,
like the
that's
Dubs going into the game on Saturday,
Yeah,
knowing
because
fight
all the
and
talk
that.
about it, you know. And on Tuesday, I wasn't nervous because I knew he'd run his race. Didn't know if he'd win or not, but when he won, obviously, then Thursday I felt the pressure was off. He won his race. We enjoyed Thursday, but then the Saturday now, with all the talk and all the hype about it, now I was nervous wreck, like. Yeah.
Lucky the horse wasn't.
No, and obviously not picking it up off you guys either. I'll be a nervous horse, like, it's fine. I've got it, don't worry.
Matthew sent me a picture of the horse on Saturday morning, and he had just 2 eyes coming out over the door, and it was kind of like, I'm going to race today.
Yeah.
He was, you know, he just, and then when he turned up at the races, and he was so relaxed.
Yeah,
And
because he has a tendency now when he goes racing to be
Warm
sweating
himself, yeah.
and, you know, like, nervous. And but Saturday now he was just.
How much is that he remembers? Maybe he remembers Galway and he's like, I'm familiar with this and I'm used to it now this week. I'm in a good mood myself as well, I suppose.
Sure, look, it has to, like, it does. You know, they've been fussed over there after they get a win. They're, you know, they're standing there, they're getting patted. You know, like, it's obviously done his confidence the world of good, like, getting his head in front on Tuesday. You know, because he obviously improved again on Thursday and again on Saturday. Like,
A lot of people who are not into racing don't really get that either, that a horse kind of does know when things are going well and when he's won, because he hadn't had his head in front in, 3 years?
Yeah.
You know, and then maybe it's like, well, actually I can do this again. Probably Billy Lee, the confidence. When we had Yvonne Conley on, she was on about that, when the horse realises your attention straight away.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah.
You know, conversely, the horse can feel how relaxed the jockey is, and they're in unison and switch off.
Yeah.
You know, as the great jockey that I am.
Beautifully done. I mean, you've got to be in line for one of these races sometime, right?
Yeah, it'd be great. It'd be a great thing to do, because I was writing a piece today that if everyone gave horse racing a go for a couple of weeks, I'd say an awful lot of people would be hooked by it. Like, just
totally,
riding a horse. If you could get, like, you can imagine riding Batash, for example. Like, they were on about him going 50 miles an hour potentially. Imagine riding a horse at 50 miles an hour on a fast surface. And the last thing you're thinking about is what can go wrong. It's just the buzz of it.
Yeah.
But I'd say for your core, for like it's probably like a really good squat as well for all your body and your bones. I'd say you'd be in agony the first couple of days riding, but then eventually I suppose.
Yeah, you just get used to it.
Yeah. Maybe, sure, who knows? If I do it, you'll do it as well, Ger.
Yeah, Friday Night Racing is brought to you by GoRacing.ie. If you're going racing at the weekend, make sure you check out GoRacing.ie in advance for all your cards and parking and all the rest of the information that you need about the venues and racing news as well. Let's go back then to Saturday. So how does the race run itself? At what point are you kind of thinking, actually, this is all going very well?
I think from me watching it, I think at the bottom of the hill, I remember looking at Billy Lee just sitting like he was at home watching TV, and I was thinking, Jesus, he's going very easy. He's going very easy. If he gets out again, he has a great chance. And just when they turn for home, and next thing you could see Billy making a dart for the outside again, I just said, maybe this is going to happen. And then just to win by, 5 lengths, like, it was just incredible. Like, I just couldn't believe it.
Where are you watching that race this time?
I watched them all in the same spot in the parade ring.
Right, in the parade ring.
Yeah,
okay.
and it was raining, and we're under the stand, and I was saying to myself, I don't care how stupid this looks now, but I'm going back to where I watched this for the last. Just superstitious.
Superstition, yeah.
I had to do it, and Brian Gavin was with me, and he just says.
You're watching on the big screen then, are you?
Yeah, the big screen in there.
Can you see the finish line? No.
No,
okay.
you can't. It's all on the big screen.
Right. But there must have been a crazy roar from the crowd when he starts to get ahead, because on TV it's hard to tell the distance that he's putting up. But in person, as he takes a length out
I was down at the winning post, so as each day now, and like you can see it straight there, like. And I was a bit worried beforehand because he didn't look like he wanted to go into the stalls. Like they were going loading him, and like usually he'd go on in, but on Saturday they had to get a few of them to push him in, and I thought to myself, now he's had enough for the week.
Yeah.
Like, you know,
I think it's one thing that the race course could probably improve on is the noise of the crowd, because you don't really hear it on TV, and it's a great buzz when there is a roar when your own horse comes home, but when a load of people that have no connection to the horse except backing them start roaring them home as well, it's good old buzz in your off the stand, you know, like.
Buzz,
and the thing for Galway as well, Gerard, that he could, the likes of Matthew with a small number of horses, and your only horse yourself, Ollie, to win in Galway, like it gives everyone a chance. I think it's amazing, because Galway matters more to a lot of people than even Leopardstown at Christmas. Do you know what I mean? It's just because it's Galway, like.
Galway, like.
It's a place you really want to. Like as a young lad, one of my first ever days away was the Galway Races, and I remember being outside. Do you remember when the bumper cars and all that were on the outside?
Oh yeah, the hurdy-gurdy.
Yeah. And I remember looking through the white railing at the time, looking in. You could see the horses whizzing by, and you're wondering what goes on over there.
Yeah.
And you're saying, will I ever get there, or what goes on that side of the track?
Yeah.
You know, and then to come back and see it all again is unbelievable.
So obviously a lot of history. You guys felt the burden of history on the Saturday. I presume there's a lot of coverage about that. So presumably half the crowd had backed him.
Yeah, there was a lot now.
What price did he go off on Saturday?
11-4, I think. Yeah.
Right. Okay. So a lot of the crowd had backed him.
Yeah.
What was he a bigger price? Obviously earlier on in the week, or
It was a bigger price than the Tuesday.
9 or 10 to 1 on the Tuesday.
right.
Yeah.
Tens
dropping
and
back to a
sevens,
mile.
yeah.
Yeah.
And 4 to 1 then on the Thursday.
Yeah.
You know.
yeah. So I can only imagine what the roar was like on Saturday.
But even people that don't punt would back him.
Yeah.
It's a novelty. Like a horse going for 3 in a row, you couldn't. Like if you knew nothing about the connections, you'd just have a few.
Catchy name as well.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
Yeah. And what was that like then? The hours after that,
Just after the race.
and history's made.
Oh, it's just unbelievable. Like, and it's funny, an hour after, tiredness nearly sets in because you're forgetting then you haven't slept that well the night before either.
Sure, or the whole week.
And the adrenaline starts to wane off a bit. But I think in the last few days in work, the amount of people that, congratulate you and stuff like that, it just kind of sinks in.
Yeah.
And you realise how big an achievement and how hard it will be to do it again. You know?
It's never going to happen again, right? Well, certainly.
Well, look, Tony Martin's horse won 3 in the week a couple of years ago.
Well, to win 3 flat races, you'd want to be to have the versatility with the trip that he had, because otherwise it'd be hard to win 3 races over the same trip in Galway because of the race programme and all that.
Yeah.
So, especially if you're going the higher up, so it's just be very hard to win. But you must be thinking of, without trying to preempt it, you must be thinking of saving his hurdles mark for Galway next year nearly. Do you know what I mean? If he likes the place that much.
Yeah, sure, look.
What's his hurdles mark?
He's 102.
And he's now on the flat?
91.
So that's in theory, he's about 30 pounds well in theory. So if he ran over hurdles in Galway in September on nice ground, he'd be very short price. He'd have to be
Yeah, you'd expect so, yeah.
So.
Yeah. But
what's the plan?
Johnny's cooking his own plan up over there.
Thinking, well, you have Champions Weekend.
Do you want to do this on air or do you want to do it off air?
I'd definitely be looking at that hurdles mark and think, what can you do with it?
Oh, should we do something in time with it, yeah?
What about the flat?
Yeah.
Irish Champions Weekend?
Yeah, that's we're probably going to aim for that. So look, he's 91.
150 grand handicap or something?
Yeah, there's one on the Saturday and the Sunday. So we'll try and pick one of them. There's I think it's a mile 4 in Leopardstown.
Is that the Patingo?
Yeah, isn't it? And then the mile 2 in the Curragh.
That's the last race of the Miss Hamley one last year. I think that's the last race of that whole 2 days. Yeah.
So look, we'll probably aim for that weekend and try and pick the most suitable race.
And you always go back over fences
or boat.
as well.
Yeah.
Or boat.
Or both. Yeah. That'd be a hell of an achievement.
I might go for a beginner's chase the following day.
Dermot Well told me once how he ran the horse in the same card at Laytown in 2 races, and he won one and he was 3rd in the other. Yeah, which
On the same day?
Yeah.
Right.
Same
Oh,
day,
yeah.
yeah. Dermot would only tell me that story now because he won one of the races anyway. Otherwise, he probably wouldn't have told him. He did come third in the other one, but that must have been interesting.
So what happens now? You'll obviously you're going to stay with One Cool Polo. Or do you think of selling at some point?
No, I think the fact that he had an injury would be hard to sell him, and then there's a lot of sentimental value too.
Yeah,
you know, you're associated with that horse, and it's just hard to part with a horse like that. You know.
When will you go again then with another horse? What do you think?
Look, we'll see how he goes, and probably next year.
Yeah,
we'd look
at buying another foal.
Brazil's Scortine stud again and see what's in the field.
Right, that's how it works. Yeah.
Has he many on the ground, like in?
No, Urban Poet.
Yeah.
No, I'd say about 15, 20.
And who was he by Urban Poet then himself?
I think he's Dynaformer.
Right.
It goes back to America anyway.
Right.
But anything he has on the ground has ability. Which the biggest problem, I suppose, with a lot of these stallions is getting good mares.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and they get it hard to get good mares because you're competing with Coolmore and.
It's kind of like a football manager has to do well at a crap team without the resources to think get a better job. Do you know the way?
Well, that's it, and it goes back to the boys putting in the effort to getting him back to this guy back to the racetrack. Like they had to do things like that to try and get the profile of the stallion because this horse had the ability.
But in fairness, so the One Cool Pole winning 3 times in a week is huge for that stallion. Yeah. Also the fact that you relate Urban Pole, One Cool Pole, it sounds similar. So I can remember the stallion. And now he's in your kind of mind. Where's that stallion based, or what does he have in the ground?
Yeah,
because he got a horse to win 3 times in Galway, so he's something going for him.
Over 3 distances.
Over 3 distances. Yeah.
So did you though. So you'd hope that there's a similar kind of uptick in business as a result of this from your perspective.
Hoping so, yeah. Like it's all about getting winners and getting publicity, like, and sure we're after getting some publicity out of last week, like, you know, so that's what it's all about. Really,
how many have you got in training at the minute?
About 20.
Right.
Matthew had Rawnack back in the day, so he was kind of like, you were a very young trainer, and to kind of, I suppose you were, certainly in those days, you were a real up and coming trainer. You're talking like 5 years ago?
Yeah, I have my licence since 2013. And look, I started off with Rawnack and another horse, Gretzky, who won 5 up in Dundalk. So yeah, look, I was very lucky starting off with a horse like that. Got a lot of high profile out of him. He ran in a couple of Galway hurdles, ran in the Greatwood Hurdle, ran the Cheltenham Festival, ran Aintree. So yeah, I was very lucky starting off to have a horse like him.
And how far, like how big would you want to go numbers wise ideally?
Like I've more now this year than I had last year. Sure, you know, I've room for another 10 or 15, like, you know, so it'd be nice to have
under 50.
Yeah. So look, as many, obviously trying to get as many as you can get, like, you know, but it's not easy to get horses, really, you know, but sure, look, we're doing well with the few we have, like.
You're just up the road from Ger Lines.
That's right, yeah, it's on the same road as Ger, yeah.
Obviously, this is a dual purpose horse. Do you tend to mostly train national hunt horses, or what's your...
I have mixed, you know, I have flat horses, I have jump horses, and I have dual purpose horses as well, so.
Right.
Yeah.
Will you ever specialise? Do you see yourself specialising in one or the other?
I can't really now, not at the minute anyway, you know.
Can't turn down business.
No, and it's not even that, like, you know, I enjoy training all sorts of horses, like, you know, I enjoy the flat and I enjoy national hunt racing.
And is the challenge exactly the same? Just make sure they're fitting well and...
That's it, yeah.
And then you...
Fitting well and happy and...
Healthy
is number one, yeah. So,
and then the hard part is placing them in the right race.
Yeah, that's a big part of it as well, yeah. So look, obviously, like, it's, you know, obviously we trained the horse to get to Galway, but after that, sure, it came down to the horse, really. You know, like, you need a special type of horse that's going to be able to run 3 times in a week, never mind win 3 times in a week. Like.
Yeah, but you need to know what you're doing to get them fit to be able to do that as well. Yeah. So I'm sure, I hope that it's going to be good for business for you for the next while. We've got to pick some tips for the weekend here. The Tote Irish Injured Jockeys charity was boosted by €190 after the Gavin Cromwell trained I liked the way you're thinking, or I like way you're thinking.
The way you're thinking, yeah.
Doubled up for the week when running out an easy winner at Galway last Sunday. The balance now stands at an impressive €6,519. This weekend's Irish racing is going to come from Kilbeggan tomorrow. It's tomorrow evening. On Sunday, the action coming from Downpatrick and Tipperary. In the UK, some of the best riders from across the globe will clash in the Shergar Cup at Ascot on Saturday afternoon. Johnny, what have you gone for this weekend?
I went for a horse on the Sunday. I should mention as well, just to well, to wish the best to Pat Keogh. It's his first day as Curra CEO. I don't know if you saw his tweet last night. Leopardstown. I don't know who was playing Leopardstown last night. There was a band on after racing anyway. But Pat said, you know, great night tonight, great to have such and such in. Now on to the Curra tomorrow night where we have this and that. So he was like, I'm CEO of this racetrack, which is one of the biggest in Ireland, and now we'll do the Curra Friday night. So I was kind of thinking, like, what are you going to actually do Saturday night, because you won't have anything else to do. So he's...
The Bay City Rollers, how could you have forgotten that?
Bay City Rollers, yeah. I was, where was I last night? I wasn't there anyway.
You've forgotten. It was a good night.
No, I was just at home relaxing actually, yeah. But my tip is famous, cracking name rather, in the 415 Tipperary by famous name. Great record at Tipperary. I think he might have won 3 times there for 2 different trainers. There he is. Oisin Orr takes the ride for Dave Marnan. Oisin, very good rider. He's primarily with Dermot Well now, but this horse coming off 57-day break, but great form around Tip. He liked the ground as well. She liked the ground rather, and actually she won't mind the ground one way or the other, and I think she's a great chance.
So that's the Larry Lyons birthday celebration handicap at 4:15 on Sunday in Tipperary, and it's Cracking Name by
Cracking name. Sorry, yeah.
Yeah. Tote customers can enjoy free racecourse tickets to selected meetings throughout the year. Check out thetote.com for more details. We did want to talk about one of the races in Kilbeggan as well, I think.
Yeah, they've decent enough prize money. Should also mention the Kieran Kelly Memorial Beginners Chase. Could be around this time. We spoke with when a couple of weeks ago we had Paddy Flood was on, and he sort of replaced Kieran. Kieran tragically died in Kilbeggan, I remember very well, 2003. It's hard to believe it's 16 years ago. 3 Irish jockeys passed away that year. It was a particularly sad year, but Kieran is remembered tomorrow Kilbeggan. The big race is the Follow Kilbeggan Races on Instagram, handicap steeplechase at 8:05. Give a very good chance to Mega Mindy in that. She's a very genuine mare. She was a little bit unlucky last time, Killarney. She was following up a win at Limerick. Never seems to run a bad race, a bit like One Cool Poet, and hopefully she might do what One Cool Poet did and get her head in front as well.
Okay, who else is likely to lead the betting?
Well, that race is interesting because JP has 4 in it. Shan Palace, trained by Charles Burns, he's getting on in life. His rider Darrow O'Keefe's in unbelievable form. Punches Cross for Joseph O'Brien, who also has Plint and Ivanovic Gorbachev. Lucky Pat for local trainer Dot Love, whose horse on good form, probably be prominent in the market. Very open race for the 20 grand.
Okay, and then the other one that we want to talk about, sorry, I should come back to Tipperary. It's the 340, the Coolmore Caravaggio Stakes at Tipperary on Sunday.
I think this is a race that Coolmore sponsors and usually has a young stallion. Caravaggio is, what is it, his first year? Is he running last year, the year before? So he's a young stallion that they're keen to promote, and Glen Eagles is a stallion of Royal County Down. I'd give him a very good chance. He just seems to be progressing. He's only rated 89, which shouldn't necessarily be good enough to win a listed race, but he's progressing. I don't know what you make of Glen Eagles so far, these young stallions on the ground. Anton, take your eye.
I have none of them anyway.
You've had 2-year-olds?
I have a couple of 2-year-olds, alright. Yeah, I've only had 1 2-year-old runner this year though.
I always find it exciting to see like who's making waves, and you'll often see like a stallion from left field, because Coolmore have everything is catered for them with the mares they go to. So Glen Eagles will be very well supported, but you get other stallions in that have to kind of, as you say, manage the poor football team and try to do well. You're wearing the Alella colours today, Michael Ryan.
Yeah. Ryan by name.
Absolutely, yeah. Ali. Yeah. Any relation?
No relation. No.
But yeah, it's a good card in Tipperary, and obviously plenty of chat about the football at the tracks this weekend as well.
Naturally enough. Lads, good stuff. Congratulations. An incredible week. Like, have you come down to earth off it, or like is it something that you actually don't really want to come down to earth for, because you know it might never happen again as brilliantly as it was?
Yeah, well, I think in 2 or 3 years' time we'll wake up at 4 in the morning and you'll slip back through the Caulfield handicap, you know, in Galway, the mile handicap.
There was thunder and lightning last night and you were awake at 4 in the morning. What were you doing?
Watching the race.
Sky Plus is the best thing ever. Like, you can always go back and watch the beginning of the race, before the race, after the race, and you can pause it and say, what do you think's going to happen from here 3 years later? Yeah. Why not? You have to enjoy it. Like, that's one in a million stuff, really. You know, for a horse people said wouldn't win a race, then he wins 3 up the stiffest hill in Ireland, really.
Yeah. Best of luck on Champions Weekend, whatever course it happens. And
Ozzy Valentine runs this weekend.
Again?
Has a chance, yeah. Young,
okay.
Stephen Mooney's riding him. Would give him a squeak, definitely. He's running on Sunday, I think.
Okay, we must ask the trainer what he thinks about it. Good stuff. Friday Night Racing brought to you by GoRacing.ie. Thanks very much for watching us. We've been streaming live across all of our social channels, and of course on Go Loud you can download the app, the Go Loud app, through the Play Store, or you can get it wherever you get your apps on iTunes at the App Store. And that's where OTB Sports Radio lives. It's a full continuous stream of all of our best content. And of course, if you're listening to us on News Talk, stay tuned. We've got some more good stuff coming your way right after these.
Friday Night Racing.
On Off the Ball.
And they're off.
Brought to you by Go Racing. Plan your day at the races at goracing.ie.
With over 15,000 coolers available to hire or buy, HSS Hire has a cooling solution for every...